Donald Trump, in a recent interview, just called out Pope Leo, said that he's a liberal, and says that he does not like him. Watch this clip.
I don't think he's doing a very good job. He likes crime, I guess. He hit us thick of it. He's worried about fear. What about the fear when the ministers and the priests and all of those great people that were arrested during COVID, and in many cases they're outside 10 feet apart, and they were arrested. So we don't like it. We don't like a pope that's going to say that it's okay to have a nuclear weapon. We don't want a pope that says crime is okay in our cities. I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of Pope Leo. He's a very liberal person, and he's a man that doesn't believe in stopping crime. He's a man that doesn't think that we should be going with a country that wants a nuclear weapon so they can blow up the world. I'm not a fan of Pope Leo.
I and every other Catholic will be taking the side of Pope Leo any day of the week than Donald Trump. Keep in mind, Trump is calling the Pope a liberal when the Pope is far more pro-life and against abortion than Donald Trump is. The Pope is far more anti-LGBTQ ideologies than Trump is. All just because the Pope wants people to stop fighting each other and stop having these unjust wars where people are dying, by the way. We stand with Pope Leo. God bless. Christ is Lord.
Trump called Pope Leo weak and too liberal. This was a tactical strike to clear the path of what he's going to post next. Within hours of delegitimizing the Pope, he drops this image. By tearing down the Pope, he creates a spiritual vacuum, and then he fills it by posing in the robes of a healer. Look at his hand. He's telling his base, the church has failed you, politicians have failed you. I am the only one left with the power to heal the nation. The Pope criticized the war. Trump responded with an image of fighter jets and angels. He's framing the conflict not as a policy choice, but as a holy war. If the Pope won't bless the mission, Trump will bless it himself. It's the ritualized birth of a new era. The old world must die, symbolized by the sick man in the bed, so the new one can be raised by a singular hand, the hand of Trump. And you know what? History isn't a line either. It's a circle. Every 84 years, the system resets. 1776, 1860, 1944. Add 84 years and you get 2028. We are right on schedule. The Vatican is the old world authority. This image represents the new world order, a fusion of military might, American nationalism, and the messianic faith.
Sorry, but this is so insane. Do you remember a couple days ago how I made a video talking about how the Pope was very courageously going out and speaking against the war in Iran and against this sort of just wild bombing and killing of all of these innocent people? I said it was courageous at the time, and that was before I knew about this crazy shit.
There's new reporting today that the first American pope may never return to the U.S. while the president is in office. The Free Press is now reporting on a tense meeting that happened back in January between the Pentagon and the Vatican. Pentagon brass reportedly lectured the Holy See's ambassador to the U.S. about remarks the pope had recently made that they viewed as hostile to the president's policies. That's according to both Vatican and U.S. officials who were briefed on the meeting. So they reportedly warned the Vatican that the U.S. has the military power to do whatever it wants and that the church had better take its side. But based on comments this week, those threats didn't seem to impact the Pope.
I mean, seriously? First of all, Pope Leo, kudos for making the speech that you did on Easter Sunday after all of this happened. Second of all, who the fuck threatens a pope? What is the matter with these people? I mean, Pope Leo, welcome to the resistance and all, but in a normal world, you would not need to be here. This administration has lost its mind, and if you're still supporting them, so have you.
Who comes to mind when you hear Trump call someone weak, terrible on foreign policy, or a very liberal person? These are the things he's called Kamala Harris before, but that's not who he's talking about now. No, that's what he's calling Pope Leo. That's right. This is a headline. At this day and age, Trump attacks Pope Leo as too liberal and weak on crime. Yes, this is a headline in the New York Times in 2026. Trump attacks the Pope. When have we ever had a president attack the Pope, let alone anyone? This is so disgraceful, so un-American, and just shows that he is in desperate need of a cognitive evaluation. This is not anywhere near the realm of normal. And yeah, Trump just defended 1.4 billion Catholics. And I'm not even Catholic and I'm offended by this. So who knows what the number really is? Trump just has no idea how to lift anyone up. All he can do is put people down and bring them down. And right now, he's bringing the whole country of the United States of America down with him. And we better do something about it here really quick. Let me know if you agree. I'll see you back here for the 411.
Tonight, a powerful crash is shaking both politics and religion across the world. So here is this. A former US President Donald Trump and the head of Catholic Church, Pope Leo XIV, are now openly comforting each other. And the world is watching. So, it's all began with a strong words about war, peace, and leadership. And the Pope is calling to end of violence, saying no war is blessed by God. But Trump himself fired back, calling the Pope weak and accusing him stepping into our politics. So what's really going on here? Is this about faith or power? So in this video, we're going to break down the truth behind this growing conflict, what each side is saying, and why it's a matter not just for America, but for the entire world. Stay with us. So before we continue, I want to give credit to all original creators of TikTok clips used in this video. All clips belong to their respective creators and are used here for commentary, news report, and education purpose only.
Did you see this? Trump is now going after the Pope. Yeah, the Pope. So here's what's happening. Pope Leo has been speaking out recently against the war with Iran, calling out violence and basically pushing for peace. And then Trump fires back on social media not too long ago, calling him, quote, too liberal, weak on crime, and even saying he's bad for foreign policy. But it doesn't stop there. Trump also claimed that the Pope only got the job because he's American, and that if Trump wasn't in the White House, he wouldn't even be in the Vatican. And now this is turning into a bigger moment all over social media because you've got two very different approaches happening at the same time. On one side, calling for peace and restraint, and the other escalating and pushing back hard. And keep in mind, this isn't just some random figure. We're talking about the leader of over 1 billion Catholics worldwide. So now people are watching this thinking, well, what does it all mean? Is this just Trump being Trump, or is this going to turn into something bigger between politics and religion? Let me know in the comments section. This is reporting from the New York Times. Appreciate you.
It's been reported that the Pentagon has threatened the Vatican. Now, what we do know for certain is that a papal representative was summoned to the Pentagon and told, your boss has said bad things about Donald Trump and his war, and we ain't going to stand for that. Mainly because we are the US of A, and we are above everyone, including God's law according to the Catholic Church. But supposedly where the threat came from is that one of the Pentagon officials talked about the outrage of Anagni. Now, I'm surprised he knew what that was. I certainly didn't know what that was, and I had to go and look it up. Turns out, in about late 1300s, Pope Boniface III, I think, declared that the whole world should be Catholic, and he would run everything. And King Philip of France didn't like that, especially when Pope Boniface started messing around in his affairs as well. So he did what every despotic monarch does in the face of a turbulent priest. He sent his men over to the Vatican to kidnap Pope Boniface. Now, they didn't succeed, but apparently that caused quite a lot of damage, and the Pope died shortly thereafter, which meant that King Philip could go, aha, we'll install a new Pope, and he can come and live in France, in Avignon, which is exactly what they did, and that carried on for like 5 or 6 popes. So basically France had complete control of the papacy at that point. Now apparently this is quite a serious reference to make, and it basically implies that the US is saying to the Vatican, toe the line, otherwise we'll send the boys round, and we can replace you in the same way that we did with Venezuela. And the Pope has responded by basically cancelling any kind of trip whatsoever onto American soil. So he's obviously taken it relatively seriously. Now, something that's important to remember is, although a lot of hardline Catholics did vote for Trump, the Christian nationalists don't regard Catholicism as real Christianity. They regard it as a heretical religion. And they're all too ready to start persecuting the Catholics as soon as the chance turns up. I mean, Hegseth has already stopped various masses, and we've seen the Catholics getting persecuted in Israel. So if I were the Catholics, I would be keeping my eye open certainly in the US, to see exactly what's going down, because it doesn't sound very good.
Donald Trump is now publicly attacking the Pope, and he just posted an AI image of himself as Jesus Christ. So first and foremost, here is his very long attack on Pope Leo, saying that he's weak on crime and terrible for foreign policy. He's talking about him as if he's a politician. He went after the Pope for criticizing the Trump administration and also said, I like his brother Louis much better than I like him because Louis is all MAGA. He gets it and Leo doesn't. I don't want a Pope who thinks it's okay for Iran to have a nuclear weapon, which is, of course, as you probably could have guessed, not something that Pope Leo has endorsed. But then after that attack, Donald Trump posted this AI image of him as Jesus Christ healing someone who appears to be a young Jeffrey Epstein. You might be saying, Harry, you're stretching it a little bit. You're absolutely right, I am. But I think that if given the opportunity, Donald Trump would do that. But here's the image. And just in case if you were wondering if he stopped there, he absolutely did not. He followed up with a post of a Trump building on the moon. A very normal thing for a president to be posting. This guy is totally sane. Nothing wrong with him, right? This is what the president of the United States is doing in the middle of the night as the country is at war. Great.
We have some news right now. Donald Trump is now openly attacking the Pope. First, the Pentagon threatened the Pope. Now the president is attacking the Pope. Can't make this up. Here's the president's lengthy statement. I'm not going to read it all for you, but it's literally attacking Pope Leo, saying that he's weak on crime, terrible for foreign policy, saying that he likes his brother Louis much better than I like him, saying that he doesn't want a pope who criticizes the president of the United States because Trump is doing exactly what he was elected to do, saying that Pope Leo is actively hurting the Catholic Church. This war on the Catholic Church just escalated 10x easily because the president of the United States now is directly attacking the Pope. Mind you, the first American-born Pope. And also, Trump is really just upset that the Pope has rebuffed the president on numerous occasions, whether it be Trump's war or the fact that even Trump invited the Pope to D.C. for America's 250. The Pope said no. Spread the word, follow for more.
Who comes to mind when you hear Trump call someone weak, terrible on foreign policy, or a very liberal person? These are the things he's called Kamala Harris before, but that's not who he's talking about now. No, that's what he's calling Pope Leo. That's right. This is a headline. At this day and age, Trump attacks Pope Leo as too liberal and weak on crime. Yes, this is a headline in the New York Times in 2026. Trump attacks the Pope. When have we ever had a president attack the Pope, let alone anyone? This is so disgraceful, so un-American, and just shows that he is in desperate need of a cognitive evaluation. This is not anywhere near the realm of normal. And yeah, Trump just offended 1.4 billion Catholics. And I'm not even Catholic and I'm offended by this. So who knows what the number really is? Trump just has no idea how to lift anyone up. All he can do is put people down and bring them down. And right now, he's bringing the whole country of the United States of America down with him. And we better do something about it here really quick. Let me know if you agree. I'll see you back here for the 411.
And against the war he waged in Venezuela, and that he supports crime, and that the man has a bad reputation, and that if not for him, he never would have entered the Vatican, nor would he have become Pope. Then he posts a picture of himself depicted as Christ, a picture that angered a huge number of Catholics around the world and inside the United States of America. Today is Monday, April 13, 2026, and it is 3:00 p.m. Cairo time. What happened? In short, U.S. President Donald Trump is unhappy with the Vatican's Pope Leo XIV because the man made 4 statements in the past few days.
Good day, my friends. There has been tension again between the Pope, our American Pope, and the American President. A few months ago, there was tension between these two over immigration policies and so on. Now, apparently, Donald Trump slams Pope Leo XIV, saying, "Sit down, you're just the Pope. Mind your own business." But the Pope's response leaves the entire room stunned. Tensions erupted after Pope Leo XIV issued a strong moral warning from the Vatican about what he called a prayer for war at the White House. Earlier, a group of evangelical leaders had gathered in the Oval Office laying hands in prayer for Donald Trump and blessing his confrontation with Iran, an image that sparked intense controversy. The Pope responded, "War is not sacred. Only peace is sacred because it is the will of God." After a heavy silence, Trump responded sharply, insisting that he would not allow religious leaders to interfere with America's national security decisions. Faced with the criticism, Pope Leo XIV did not react immediately. He simply sat upright, his hands resting calmly on the table in front of him. When the Pope finally spoke, his calm voice carried a moral weight that seemed to stop the room in its tracks, saying, "Power may be great, but responsibility before conscience and the future of humanity is even greater." Let's all join in and pray for peace. God bless.
A lot of people are saying that Donald Trump is actually mocking Jesus here. What do you think? The funny part is this picture was posted earlier on this month on Twitter, right? But he literally added this. This was not there on the original picture. I don't know what the fuck this is. You're gonna have to explain. He also posted this last year, so it's not even a surprise. He posted this literally 2 days after the Pope passed away. But anyways, now it seems like the new Pope, Pope Leo, is not afraid of criticizing the Trump administration. I mean, his comments have been pretty consistent, right? He even said God does not listen to the prayers of people who wage war. Now, in response to all this, Trump first posted this and then wrote a whole Truth Social post whereby now he was talking about how weak Pope Leo is, about how he likes Pope Leo's brother more because Leo's brother is a proper MAGA. Anyways, a few hours ago, Pope Leo was seen on camera saying something like, "I have no fear of the Trump administration," or of speaking out loudly about the message of the gospel, and so on. Now, this rendition is way more accurate.
So somebody needs to take the keys away from Dementia Don, because Trump spent the evening going after the Pope, saying that he's weak on crime and bad on foreign policy, so that he should focus on being a pope and not a politician. He's asking for peace. That's exactly what the Pope is supposed to be doing. He said he doesn't want a Pope that thinks it's terrible we attacked Venezuela, and he doesn't want a Pope that criticizes the President of the United States when we have the greatest stock market in history. I mean, I think he's confused with what a politician and what a Pope is, because a Pope isn't supposed to be focused on the financial gain of the United States. And he says the Pope wouldn't even be there if it wasn't for him, because somehow the church's main focus in picking a Pope this time was to attack Donald Trump. And he says that the Pope's position on crime and nuclear weapons doesn't sit well with him. I don't think the Pope cares at all. And then he posted a crazy picture of himself dressed up as Jesus. He's insane. The keys need to be taken away. And when I say the keys, I mean the nuclear codes. I mean, I'm no fan of the Catholic Church, but this Pope is actually doing what a Pope's supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be caring for people who need our help. They're supposed to be calling for world peace. They're not supposed to be backing a wannabe dictator who wants to destroy an entire civilization. Well, MAGA Catholics, let me know what you think of this one, because you can't follow the Catholic Church and Trump. He's making you make a choice.
Donald Trump has lost his mind as he just attacked Pope Leo in a completely unhinged rant on Truth Social. Now, if you missed it, when Donald Trump first said that he was going to wipe out Iranian civilization, it was Pope Leo who came out against the fear that Trump and his admin were instilling in the innocent civilians, which you would expect a Pope to do. Well, that didn't sit well with Donald Trump, clearly, as he went off on Pope Leo in a lengthy rant that was all over the place. It included calling Pope Leo weak, taking credit for him even becoming the Pope, saying he liked his brother better than him, and talking about his landslide victory in the election. This was an unhinged rant because Donald Trump wasn't happy that the Pope did what a Pope does. Of course, he doesn't care about the foreign policy and the actual war. He's concerned about the innocent people. That is what you would expect. But Trump expects him to be 100% behind Donald Trump no matter what he does. This shows how bad Donald Trump is and how far gone he is. At some point, Republicans have to stand up and not just say it's Trump being Trump or I didn't see it.
Trump just said the Pope is weak on crime and then called himself God. The schizophrenia medication has clearly stopped working.
Breaking news, Trump is now openly attacking the Pope and referring to himself as God, literally depicting himself as Jesus Christ. He posted this AI-generated photo on his Truth Social moments ago. I'm not joking, go check it out for yourself. Inside of this photo, he is wearing red and white robes, which are typically used in modern-day depictions of Jesus Christ. And inside of this photo, he's also using what seem to be divine powers to heal a sick man. This is, without question, him depicting himself as the Christian God. Trump posted that photo moments after he posted this rant attacking the Pope, saying that he likes the Pope's brother much more because he's MAGA, saying that he doesn't want a Pope who will criticize him. Then also goes on to say that Leo is weak and says that the only reason why Leo is Pope is because of him. This is undoubtedly sacrilegious, and if it was anybody but Trump, it would be the unquestioned end of their political career, considering the fact that around 70% of Americans are Christian. In fact, according to the Christian worldview, not only is this extremely heretical, but blasphemous. That's all for now. I'll keep you updated as we learn more.
Well, it's a Monday. Got to chime in here. So, Pete Hegseth and Vice President J.D. Vance doesn't get a deal with Iran. So Trump says, okay, we're going to blockade the Straits of Hormuz. That's what we'll do. So no Iranian cargo ships can get out, but we'll let all the other ships go through. And we're going to make sure all the mines are cleared. Well, that's quite a gamble. Will it work? We'll have to wait and see. But the bottom line here is still no end to the war. Trump comes back as a defeated little child. And so he is going to try to do this. Meanwhile, oil prices continue to go back up again. The stock markets are back in a disarray because they don't know what's going to happen here. And Trump has readily admitted that oil prices may stay high or even higher all the way through the midterms. So here we go. And then on top of all of that, Trump has got to diss Pope Leo. Just because Pope Leo happens to be an American. He doesn't like that the Pope wants to pray for peace. He doesn't like the fact that he may be distancing more and more Catholics who all, in a large quantities, happen to be Hispanic. So he's going to separate the votes there. These are the same people that got him into office during his bid for re-election. There was a lot of Hispanics and... you know, a lot of them are Catholic, but that doesn't matter. You know, as far as he's concerned, the Pope is way out of line and he better get in line. They actually had a huge argument about that just a week ago. So here we are, back to square one.
Without me, you wouldn't be Pope. Trump just called the Pope weak on crime and a disaster on foreign policy. Then post himself as Jesus Christ, and I think this is the Pope. And this is an angel or demon, or I don't know. Pope Leo is the first American Pope in history. Elected last year, right as Trump returned to the White House. Trump first welcomed him with honor. Then Leo started slamming mass deportation, war on Iran, and the Venezuela crackdown. And Trump replied on Truth Social in this crazy post, also saying I like much better your brother Luis, because Luis is MAGA. Okay, this is the real move, typical Donald Trump move. Trump deliberately attacked an institution with 1.4 billion followers. He pissed off the Vatican, the bishop, million of faithful, and doesn't blink. Instead, he drops this AI image with himself as Jesus, performing a miracle. You can think this is crazy, But this is a game old as centuries. The church has run soft powers for 2000 years. Mercy, welcome, no borders, speaking against war. Trump's run the other empire. Hard powers, result, wars, borders. But there is a deeper play. Trump is showing something to the world, that he accepts zero criticism. Not from the representative of Jesus, not from anyone else. He is the God himself. You attack me, I put you back in your place publicly. He's basically saying, I can afford to make hundreds of millions angry because no one is above me. Pope Leo fight back. I'm not afraid of this administration. I will keep speaking the gospel out loud against war. So this is the only question that matters. When the most powerful man on earth treats the most powerful moral authority on earth like just another opponent, who actually hold the real power now? Let me know what you think, and buona giornata.
The way I see this, it's more than just a political disagreement. It's a moment that raises serious question about leadership, faith, and the direction of our world. The question is this: should a religion leader speak out on global conflict, or should they stay out of politics completely? We want to hear from you. Drop your thought in the comments below, and let's have a respectful conversation. If you found this video breakdown helpful, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notification so you don't miss our next report. Next time, stay informed, stay aware, and seek the truth. See you.